History class taught us about revolutions and empires, but they missed the real wild stuff. Strap in. These are the mind-blowing events they never told you about. The Dancing Plague of 1518, France. Imagine this. You're walking through a quiet medieval town, and suddenly someone starts dancing, then another and another, until dozens are flailing in the streets, sweating, collapsing, and can't stop. Welcome to Strasbourg, 1518, where the dancing plague broke out. Yes, a real historical event. It started with one woman who danced for days without rest. Within a week, over 400 people joined her. Some reportedly danced to death from heart attacks, exhaustion, or strokes. The town's brilliant solution? Hire more musicians. Spoiler, they danced harder. What caused it? Was it hallucinogenic bread, religious panic, or the world's first flash mob? 500 years later, we still don't know. So next time you can't stop moving, be glad it's just a good song and not the plague. The Exploding Whale Incident, Oregon, 1970. In 1970, a 45-foot, 8-ton whale carcass washed up in Florence, Oregon. It smelled, it was rotting, people were complaining, so the state decided to vaporize it with half a ton of explosives. What could go wrong? Boom! Blubber rained down like meat confetti. A car half a mile away got crushed by flying whale chunks. Spoiler alert, most of the whale was still there, just messier. Moral of the story? Never let bureaucrats play with explosives or dead whales. Operation Paul Bunyan, 1976. Surprised. This is the wildest Cold War standoff, and it started with yard work. In the Korean demilitarized zone, a single poplar tree blocked the view, so US troops trimmed it. Shocked, North Korea responded with axes to the face and killed 2 US officers. America's response? Operation Paul Bunyan. B-52s, 800 troops, and a combat engineer with the world's most aggressive chainsaw. And in 42 minutes flat, they chopped it down. Proudly. The lesson of the story? American never loses. The Great Emu War, Australia, 1932. Thoughtful. Imagine declaring war on birds. No, not pigeons, but emus. In 1932, Western Australian farmers were fed up. Over 20,000 emus were trampling crops after migrating inland, so they called in the military. Disbelieving. Yes, actual soldiers. Enter the Great Emu War. The government deployed 2 soldiers, 2 Lewis machine guns, and 10,000 rounds of ammo against very fast, very fluffy birds. The result? Epic failure. The emus outran trucks, scattered tactically, and just refused to die. By the end, less than 1,000 emus down and the birds were winning. The military retreated. Emus, 1. Humans, 0. Australia lost to giant birds. And that, my friend, is a real war. The ancient Greek computer. Intrigued. What if I told you the ancient Greeks built a computer 2,000 years ago? It's real. It's called the Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck in 1901, and it's mind-blowing. This bronze box had over 30 gears inside. It could predict eclipses, track the moon, and even model the movements of planets. Basically, it's a cosmic calculator from the 1st century BCE. Scientists call it the first analog computer in history. Amazed. It's so complex we didn't make anything like it again for over 1,000 years. Who built it? How did they do it? We still don't fully know. But one thing's certain, the ancient Greeks weren't just philosophers, they were engineering geniuses. The Library of Baghdad, House of Wisdom, 1258. Imagine a library that held all the world's knowledge: philosophy, medicine, math, astronomy, scrolls from Greece, India, Persia, all in one place. That was the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, 9th century, the heart of the Islamic Golden Age. Scholars from every religion worked side by side, translating, inventing, dreaming. Algebra, born here. The idea of algorithms, right here too. They even debated if the earth could spin. But then Mongols invaded in 1258, and they didn't just burn it. They threw the books into the Tigris River. So many, it said the river ran black with ink for days. An entire era of human knowledge washed away, and we'll never know exactly what was lost. So next time you Google something, remember, knowledge is fragile, and history isn't just about wars. You've heard of Napoleon Bonaparte, the military genius who conquered half of Europe. But did you hear about the time he was defeated by a bunch of rabbits? It was meant to be a fun hunting party for Napoleon and his men. His chief of staff ordered hundreds of rabbits for the event. The problem? He bought tame, farm-raised bunnies, so when the cages were opened, instead of running away, they charged. Wave after wave of fuzzy invaders swarmed Napoleon's party, crawling up his legs, diving into the carriages, total chaos. The great general? He retreated. From rabbits. And that, my friends, is how Napoleon was once conquered by a bunny ambush. The time a pope put a dead pope on trial. Yes, really. Imagine being so mad at someone, you dig up their rotting corpse, dress it up in robes, and put it on trial. That's exactly what Pope Stephen VI did in 897 AD. He hated his predecessor, Pope Formosus, who had been dead for months. So Stephen staged the Cadaver Synod. Yes, that's what it was called. He propped up the decomposing Formosus in a chair and screamed accusations at him in front of a full courtroom. A deacon had to speak on behalf of the corpse. The verdict? Guilty of being a really bad pope. Punishment? They cut off the fingers Formosus used to bless people, stripped the body of its robes, and threw it in the Tiber River. The Lost Roman Legion in China. A Roman legion disappears in battle, and 17 centuries later, they might have ended up in China. It starts in 53 BCE. The Romans suffer a massive defeat at the Battle of Carrhae against the Parthians. 10,000 Roman soldiers vanish. No one knows what happened to them. Fast forward. Chinese scrolls describe shield walls only Rome used 1,000 miles east. That's classic Roman testudo. Even weirder, today a village called Liqian has blue-eyed locals, Roman-style wells, and DNA that shouldn't be there. Coincidence? Or did a lost Roman legion march all the way to the edge of the world and become a Chinese legend? The day the sun disappeared. 536 AD. Imagine waking up and the sun never rises. That's exactly what happened in 536 AD, the year many historians call the worst year to be alive. 536 AD, the sun never fully rose. For 18 months, the world lived in twilight. Crops died, snow fell in summer. Byzantine historian Procopius wrote, "The sun gave forth its light without brightness, like a partial eclipse. So what happened?" Scientists now believe a cataclysmic volcanic eruption, possibly in Iceland, spewed ash into the atmosphere, cooling the planet by over 2 degrees centigrade. Famine, war, and the first outbreak of the Black Death followed. Civilization nearly collapsed. One eruption plunged the world into a dark age, history's more than kings and wars. Which of these blew your mind the most? Like, share and subscribe for more weird stories of the past.